Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you guys have been busy lately. First off the top, how unusual is it for you to have to investigate something like this? How unusual is it for the House?
Well, the House is not equipped to investigate allegations of crime, so that's always a challenge. But we do have an oversight function. I'm new to the House Intelligence Committee, but the House Intelligence Committee is not new to its oversight role over the intelligence community. So Congress does have a role to play in this investigation, but we don't investigate crime because we're not very good at it.
Congressman, what do you think they will end up finding at the end of this?
I don't know, and I guess, I was a prosecutor for 16 years, so I guess it's easy for me to kind of turn off the speculative part of my mind. And I would encourage all of your viewers, we're going to start the evidentiary process on March the 20th. So just have an open mind on all facets of this, from the interference to the influence to our American response to it, but also the leaks.
Obviously, it's important enough to be having these investigations. So last weekend, when we got that tweet sent out from President Trump about Trump Tower being wiretapped and even putting some blame on former President Obama, when you woke up and saw that tweet, what was your immediate reaction to it?
I'm not a big Twitter person. I've never been able to unlock the mysteries of the world in 140 characters. My mind just immediately, because I was a federal prosecutor, if this is true, there is an evidentiary trail. There's a paper trail that would either be at the FISC, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, or DOJ. And this will either be corroborated or it will be contradicted.
Right. So you think that is very necessary to have also an investigation into what happened there, when some people say that has nothing to do with anything?
I think all aspects of this are very important. There are the allegations of a crime, but there's also the constitutional injury of a foreign power either seeking to interfere with or influence our election. There's the American response, which includes the president's allegation, and all of it is important, and it's not for me to decide what's more important and what's not. I think the leak is super important, but folks in the media might kind of recalibrate the importance of these issues, but the leaks are both illegal and deleterious to our national security. So I'm really interested in how this got out.
Well, FBI Director James Comey really in the thick of all of this. Kellyanne Conway said basically put up or shut up. What do you make of his role and how he has handled everything that he's been dealing with for the past year, really?
Well, I have an interesting and rich history with Director Comey. I have examined him a couple of times. He has an incredibly hard job. I'm probably biased towards the FBI based on my background. He's not infallible. He's a witness like every other witness. He's going to be examined. He's going to be cross-examined. He's going to be tested. He's going to be probed. And ultimately, you and your viewers will be able to determine whether or not he is credible and believable. Your opinion is every bit as important as mine, so I'll be sitting there watching alongside you on March the 20th.
You've got your work cut out for you, sir. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Good luck with everything.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes,
Congressman Trey Gowdy, thanks for being with us. All right, coming up, remember when Nancy Pelosi said this about health care?
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Apparently, she forgot that she said that. Governor Mike Huckabee is here next to react. And say farewell to the father-daughter dance. Clayton is worked up about this one. From now on, it will be known as the family dance. Should dads have to take their sons to make sure everyone feels included? We're going to debate. Well, it sure looks like spring. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't.
But the cherry blossoms, though, in D.C., they're about to hatch.
They're confused. Easter Bunny has frost on his nose, hopping around.
Easter Bunny already hopping around?
I think so. It's getting ready.
Getting exercise.
I'm excited for it.
A lot of comments about our colors being very Easter today. Not you, but that we're matched. They appreciate that. They asked why you're not in on it.
I prefer
you guys are going to a Bath and Body Works after work today. Hey, let's talk about what's happening in Washington, because overnight, if you were out enjoying your Friday night, probably didn't see this, but Attorney General Jeff Sessions has asked 46 of the U.S. attorneys that are politically appointed by the previous administration to tender your resignation. It's time to leave Washington, D.C.
Indeed, and if you roll over in bed, well, you wouldn't. You'd have to walk out to your mailbox to get the Failing New York Times, and you see the actual headline: Trump orders 46 prosecutors to step down. You might think, wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a big change. What is it? Well, if if you listen to Chuck Schumer as well, Fake Tears Chuck Schumer, this is what he had to say about this. He said, by asking for the immediate resignation of every remaining U.S. attorney before their replacements have been confirmed or even nominated, the president is interrupting ongoing cases and investigations and hindering the administration of justice.
Yeah.
Perspective
so,
on this.
yeah, let's bring in Governor Mike Huckabee, who surely has something to say about this. You know, it's interesting. You even think about someone like Jeff Sessions, our new Attorney General. He was let go back in 1993 by then-President Bill Clinton. This is certainly something that has happened before, Governor.
Well, it happens every time there's a new administration. Doesn't matter if it's the president or a governor of a state. You know that, Abby, from your own dad.
Right.
Look, nobody holds over all the old political appointees because they probably are going to sabotage their operation. It is the will of the president to make this decision. All of these people, they knew darn well when they took the job that they were political appointees and they served at the pleasure of the president. Quite frankly, Donald Trump kept them a lot longer than Obama did, Bush did, Clinton did. What is everybody upset about? This is what happens every 4 years or every time there's a change in administration. So cry me a river. I've watched this news coverage, and these anchors are going crazy like, oh, my gosh, it's a slaughterhouse out there. No, it is the orderly transition of power.
To that point, A, why do they always freak out? And B, do they need to go deeper? I mean, the amount of resistance, the leaks, are there other places where the Trump administration should go deeper and say, hey, you also serve at the pleasure of the president, your priorities are wrong, and we need you to move on?
I think they need to get the biggest Dyson vacuum cleaner that has ever been made and go through every federal agency and suck out all the people that they can who are not going to be loyal to this president. Now, there's going to be a problem because a lot of the people are civil service protected. You have no idea how hard it is to fire a federal or a state employee, for that matter. It's one of the reasons that things don't change, because the bureaucrats have the attitude, we were here when you came, we'll be here when you left, good luck getting rid of us. But we've got to make some changes. Drain the swamp has to be more than a slogan. It has to be a mission.
Governor, I want to get at the flux capacitor for a moment and get in the DeLorean and travel back in time with you to 2010. I want to show you a soundbite from Nancy Pelosi back in 2010. Take a look.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
I was, of course, talking about the health care legislation, Obamacare at the time. Well, now, Nancy Pelosi, in the new Republican version of health care, has said this about it. The American people and members have a right to know the full impact of this legislation before any vote in committee or by the whole House, meaning, Governor, we need to read the legislation before we take action on it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is the brand new Nancy. My gosh, who knew she could make such a major change in her life at this stage of her life? Well, good for her. I'm glad now that she thinks that it's probably a good idea to read a bill, because she didn't read the 2,000-page Obamacare bill when she passed it, and I thought that statement back then was as nutty as saying, I'll know what I had for lunch when I pass my lunch later on in the day. Good heavens, Nancy. I mean, that was one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. But look, yeah, read the bill. That's great. I think everybody should. But for her to say it, it's laughable.
It is rich. And this bill is not 2,000 pages. It's closer to a couple of hundred more readable. What's your take, just briefly, on the current state of the Republican sort of disagreement about the status of the Obamacare bill?
Well, they need to listen to some of the critics as to why they're upset about it. And I think it can be fixed. I think there's things that can be incorporated. But the fact is, they promised a repeal. They're going to have to deliver a true repeal. They promised to replace, and it needs to be a replacement, not just a revision or a little bit of reform and then a little bit of rewording. A tap of the hammer and a turn of the screwdriver doesn't work. They're going to have to make major changes in it, most notably in the fact that you cannot continue to force insurance companies to pay unlimited amounts of money over the course of a lifetime. And I know this is popular, but the idea that you're going to cover all pre-existing conditions is going to make the plan unaffordable. Now, let me explain why. It'd be like saying I'm going to buy car insurance the day after my car gets totaled. I'm going to buy home insurance after my house burns to the ground. The purpose of insurance is to protect against what might happen, not what already has happened. And if you don't look at it that way, there's not an insurance company in the world, including the federal government, who can afford to take care of it.
Yeah, some great points there, Governor. Always good to have you with us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Have a great Saturday.
Thanks, Governor.
All right, we do have some other headlines to get to, starting with Best Buy's Geek Squad, allegedly conspiring with the FBI to illegally spy on customers. Newly unsealed court documents suggest that employees were trained how to snoop through customers' computers without a warrant or probable cause. The collusion coming to light in a child pornography case where content was found by a Geek Squad technician who reported it to the feds. Also, a dreamer arrested by ICE just hours after publicly boasting about her illegal status has now been released.
Today, my father and brother await deportation, while I continue to fight this battle as a dreamer to help contribute to this country, which I feel that is very much my country.
Daniela Vargas, released under an order of supervision. Turns out that her dreamer status expired back in November, but later she applied to have it renewed. And this guy thought it was a good idea to smuggle 10 pounds of cocaine through customs by taping it to his legs. A Manhattan man returning from the Dominican Republic, arrested after landing in JFK Airport. Officers described him as nervous and appeared to be, quote, busting out of his pants. The cocaine worth about $165,000.
Wow. Cocaine pants.
Okay.
Yes.
Cocaine pants. It is a tradition fathers and their daughters have cherished for decades, but now one California school is renaming the annual father-daughter dance, calling it the Family Dance, in a move to make an event more, quote, inclusive. School officials at Crocker Riverside Elementary School in Sacramento, they say this is supposed to be a teaching moment. Well, the principal, Daniel McCord, told parents however your child wants to define their family, whoever they want to bring with them, they are able to do that.
Crocker Middle School, that's a crock.
That's a crock.
Come on.
Didn't you just go to
I just went to the father-daughter dance a few weeks ago, and it's a great moment with your fathers and daughters. And I wanted to know why there was moms there. Like the dad can't handle it.
What if they don't have a dad? Like, what if it's a single mother family?
Well, of course, that's totally different. But there's a dad standing there with his daughter, and then the mom's there just like making sure, like chaperoning, making sure that he knows what he's doing.
With the video camera?
You raise a great point. It's just common sense. If there's no dad, then the mom could go, everybody would understand.
But that should already be the case,
That's like understood and known, right? But I guess I have to take my boys now to the father-daughter dance?
To be inclusive.
Yeah.
Email us. We want to see pictures of father-daughter dance pictures.
That's a great
you got
idea.
some out there this morning, send them in to us. Yep. Friends at foxnews.com, email them to us.
I will say, I think one of the biggest memories of my wedding day was dancing with my dad. It's such a special moment between a daughter and a father, a relationship that is very unique, very special.
Now it's going to be family dances for that, so you're stuck.
Let us know what you think about this. We want to hear your thoughts.
Coming up here on the show, liberals are stepping up their hate and resistance of President Trump.
This year, the bow ties were gone, replaced by Nazi hair. Nazi hair, Nazi hair.
Nazi hair. Is all the resistance just tearing the country even further apart? Carl Higbie and Kathy Rayu are here to debate that next.
Plus, you know him as the Governator. But is Arnold Schwarzenegger about to make a political comeback? Really? His target? Next. Stick around.
Minutes now to the top of the hour. We're back with some quick headlines. He is gone from Celebrity Apprentice, and now Arnold Schwarzenegger may be looking to get back into politics.
I'll be back.
The Terminator star and two-time California governor reportedly considering to run against Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein in 2018. And we know now why Nancy Pelosi is still in Washington. The House Minority Leader telling reporters she was ready to call it quits if Hillary Clinton won the presidential election, saying, quote, if Hillary had won, I was ready to go home. It was really shocking that somebody like Donald Trump could be president of the United States. Well, instead, Pelosi deciding to lead Democrats in the fight against Republicans. Clayton, over to you.
All right, thanks, Abby. Ready for another fight now? Democrats have been on a nonstop losing streak since November, and now tolerant liberal activists stepping up the hate, all in the name of resisting President Trump. Watch.
Nazi hair, Nazi hair, Nazi hair.
No KKK, no fascists, USA! We must resist. Resist.
Leave the roadway.
Is the left's new permanent campaign tearing the country apart or bringing us together? Here for a fair and balanced debate, retired U.S. Navy SEAL and author of the book Enemies, Foreign and Domestic, A SEAL's Story. And that's Carl Higbie. And as well as liberal analyst and co-host of Red Mom, Blue Mom, Kathy Rayu. Nice to see both of you this morning.
Thanks for
Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
So this resist... it started out really, I mean, like maybe as a hashtag. People are comparing it to the Tea Party movement, that it's that big. Is it really that big, or is it just organizing on social media?
It's bigger. The Tea Party was 10% of the country. We know that the majority voted for Hillary. So it's a bigger movement than the Tea Party movement. And the Tea Party actually got one of the people they supported, a birther movement guy, Donald Trump, into the White House. So if they could do that, imagine what the resist movement could do, the resisted movement.
So, Carl, this is a real movement, according to Kathy. This is real resistance, and this is their plan to resist and persist.
Well, let me break that down. This movement and the Tea Party are completely different. The Tea Party actually was an issue-based movement where they had plans, they had subjects, and Ted Cruz was their candidate, was the Tea Party candidate. So let's be honest here. It's like the Tea Party was an effective movement. There was, give or take, 0 arrests of Tea Party activists at these things. These liberal things are breaking windows. They're destroying communities.
They're not.
They're destroying. I mean, look, President Donald Trump has got to crack down on any type of violence or anything at these rallies, because that's where it's leading.
They're not violent. No one was arrested on the Women's March. No one. It was the biggest protest ever in the history of the United States after an inauguration.
What about
and there were no protests. There were no arrests.
But you remember when the Tea Party movement unfolded? It was as a result of taxes.
Grover Norquist started it. Actually, it was just against taxes, and then it became the Tea Party movement.
What about the issues here? Is resistance enough behind a movement?
What are you prepared to do?
What issues
it's
is the movement
issues.
for?
It's against the wall. It's against the Muslim ban as it was introduced.
What Muslim ban?
It was as it was introduced. That's how it was introduced.
What is the Muslim ban?
The wall on Mexico. No one wants the wall on Mexico. The war against women, taking away the Mexico City policy, or reinstating the Mexico City policy, which hurts thousands of women. Thousands of women will die as a result of this.
So what are your solutions?
So there are solid issues. Well, that's the beauty of it. The ACLU is organizing today to discuss those issues and how to organize as a grassroots movement.
Carl,
to make
where was this
difference.
outrage from the left when President Obama, he was called the deportation president?
Yeah.
Right? More deportations in U.S. history under Obama.
Double than that of Bush.
Right.
I mean, where was
criminals.
this?
Well, there were criminals. These were the bad guys, the bad hombres getting out of the country. They weren't innocent people. They weren't dreamers that were being deported. These were the bad hombres, and I thought that the Tea Party would be ecstatic with that.
All these people that you're citing as dreamers and things like that, Donald Trump is deporting illegal immigrants. Their first act of love to this country was to break the law.
No one is illegal. No, no one is illegal.
So if you cross into this country without papers, illegally, you're not illegal?
Everyone's a human being. No one should be labeled as illegal.
So if I break the law, does that make
It's not breaking the law. You're a person. This is Earth. You should be allowed to move wherever you would like to go.
The law is that you can't come into the United States unless you're properly vetted or go through papers or immigration. They come here and skip that.
We don't have enough visas. There's work here, and that's why they're coming.
So would you be okay with people you come home this afternoon, there's just people in your kitchen?
People in my kitchen. I don't want anyone breaking into my home.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing.
They're not. They're here. There's work. The people who should be arrested are the people that are hiring people that shouldn't be. The people hiring them are breaking the law, and they're not being deported.
This is what the left is doing right now.
So I think we solved America's problems this morning. Thank you, guys. Carl, Kathy, great to see you this morning.
Thanks.
Let us know how you feel about this. Friends at FoxNews.com. You can weigh in on that. Plus, liberal comedian Samantha Bee shamed a young CPAC attendee. Watch.
Bow ties were gone, replaced by Nazi hair. Nazi hair, Nazi hair.
There's one problem. One of those kids there has stage 4 cancer. Now he's getting the last laugh after appearing on our show. Kurt the Cyber Guy is here with a big update, also in what's trending.
I think one of your children's just walked in.
An expert guest on the BBC gets upstaged live on television when his kids crash the interview.
No, this might be the best video you see all day. He's an expert live on the BBC.
His wife runs in, grabs the kids. I love that the baby came in on one of those little wheelie carts.
That's the best part of the whole thing, when the second one comes in the wheels. All right, we want to bring in Kurt the Cyber Guy to talk more about this. This had to have been trending all day yesterday.
Priceless, absolutely priceless. I think the accent really helps out. The fact that it's so proper, everything's just supposed to be just exactly right in there. Oh no, my children are in the background. And then mommy comes and rescues the kids at some point.
Why can't you acknowledge it?
Right. The anchor did acknowledge it. Well, the anchor did.
But
still, it was like this.
Pushing the
Let's hide it. Let's hide it. Yeah, it was kind of funny. Very funny. A lot of people online really taking a trend to that one this morning. Also, this happening, by the way, people also bashing this guy. I don't know if we have some tweets for that one. This is a tweet that came in because a lot of people are saying, oh, this should never have happened and you should just so unprofessional. Well, this guy, John, is saying, well, Well, he's working. Interview is probably very important for him professionally. Don't judge parenting in 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. He panicked live on the air. I'm sure
he did. He did. Another one.
I love this one from Sharon. All newscasts must include children of pets and broadcasters. Delightful. That's what I loved about it. It was a very real human moment.
Authentic moment, yeah.
And then did you see yesterday, so Press Secretary Sean Spicer called out by our own John Roberts, and this is what happened at the White House.
I was going to say your paper's upside down.
John Roberts always helping with the fashion tips.
It's still upside down.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, there's no promos. John, now on to your questions.
People were wondering yesterday, it was trending all over. People were wondering if he was sending a message of distress. But
that's true. Right. That's true. And when you're in a boat, if you put the flag upside down, it's saying, help me. And John Roberts does not miss one single detail. Online, people not missing